While the Sun Belt has become ultra competitive, the Louisiana Ragin Cajuns are a team that should be in that conversation. We take a look at the top 10 returning players for this team in 2024, and it's going to be an exciting team to watch. Defensively, there's definitely room for growth for Louisiana this year. When you look at what they did in 2023, this is a group that finished in the range of being an average defense to kind of a bad defense. So there's definitely work to be done. And the good news is that there's plenty of talent returning. We start with Cameron Whitfield, and it's easy to see why he's one of the better players in the group of five. A 6'3", 238-pound edge player for this team, 9 tackles for loss, 8 sacks. He's a disruptive force. And when you're looking to improve, getting guys to get in the backfield is a great way to get the job done. On the other side of him, Jordan Lawson, another player with a good ability to get in the backfield, be disruptive, and make plays for this defense. 6'4", 235 pounds. Both of these guys are a little bit on the leaner edge when it comes to a defensive end and edge player. So you'd like to see maybe a little bit more size on their frame, but they are explosive. Blocking them is very difficult, and it's easy to see why. Jordan Lawson, 8.5 tackles for loss, 7 sacks in 2023. This is a duo that's going to be really fun to watch in 2024. And it's going to be a big reason if Louisiana is able to take a step forward. It's going to be because guys like this are getting the job done up front. On the offensive side of the ball, an extremely underrated running back is Draylen Washington. Only 515 yards last year with 2 touchdowns, but he's an explosive weapon that can be a big time player for this offense. When you look at what the offense did last year, running the football was one of their better aspects of that group. 42nd in the country in terms of rushing yards per game. And when you look at what the offensive line has returning, it's going to be easy to see why he's going to be one of the most explosive players on this team. And we'll talk about two guys here on the offensive line. AJ Gilly has been an absolute stud for Louisiana the past couple years, and he's back for another year of absolutely mauling people. And this is an offensive line that has plenty of experience. It's an offensive line that's going to get the job done. And it's an offense that expects to do big things. Even if the quarterback position isn't sorted out, you know that you're in good hands because guys like Gilly, who is an all conference type player, will get the job done up front. And next to him is Landon Burton, another guy with plenty of experience, another guy who's going to play a huge role, especially at the center position. And again, while the quarterback position plays itself out, the fact that you have a veteran like Landon Burton makes your job a lot easier. It does not matter who is throwing the football. It doesn't matter who's taking snaps. Landon Burton knows what needs to be done. He knows how to get his guys in position, how to make adjustments, how to see things on the field. And that's huge for Louisiana. Now, whether you think Ben Wooldridge or Chandler Fields is going to be the guy, it's still going to be a two quarterback race for a little bit of time. Now, Wooldridge was hurt early in the year, but he was clearly the starter, at least to start the season. Chandler Fields obviously will still be in that mix, but Wooldridge is an interesting player to watch. 6'3", 215 pounds, 508 yards last year with 5 touchdowns passing, 73 yards on the ground with 2 touchdowns in addition to that. He is a dual threat, and he needs to be. You'd like to see him more as the passer and complete more of those passes that he attempts. The talent that they have at wide receiver is going to need some depth. There's definitely a question about depth. Robert Williams and Jacob Bernard could be big time players for this offense, even tight end Terrence Carter. But it's going to come down to what Wooldridge can do. He is, to me, the favorite to win this job, assuming he gets back fully healthy and he's back in terms of mentally. But this is going to be an offense that goes as far as he takes them. Going back to the defensive side of the ball, linebacker KC Osai is someone who can use mop up duty, if you will, but you'd like to see him become a little bit more disruptive. Now, the reason why that's going to be difficult is because we talked about Whitfield, we talked about Lawson. Those guys are going to compete for tackles for loss, and that sometimes means Osai can't get to it because they're in the backfield already. So I'm not really concerned about that. He's a playmaker for this defense. I really like what he can do. 6'1", 240 pounds, has that athleticism to be able to get to the ball carrier. 95 tackles last year shows that he's capable of making plays. 4.5 tackles for loss. He's just fine. If he can be more disruptive, though, that makes this defense really, really fun in 2024. Defending the pass was actually what this defense thrived at last year the most, and they finished 51st in the country in passing yards allowed per game. Tyree Skipper played a big role in that. 3 interceptions last year, a ball hawk that knows what he's doing. Good size too at 6'2", 202 pounds. I really like what he has done for this program. I really like what he can do in 2024. And with the Sun Belt going through a little bit of a transition, this could be your sleeper team if everything goes right. Another defensive back, Jalen Clark at corner, great size once again at 6'2", 198 pounds. 3 interceptions for him as well. This secondary has the potential to be a really special group in 2024. And that's really exciting if you're a Louisiana fan. Again, this Sun Belt Conference is competitive. And yes, there are some really talented teams, but they're also going through a transition. James Madison's going through a transition. Coastal Carolina is going through a transition. App State will obviously be tough. And Georgia Southern is going to be tough. Georgia State, you could go on and on about this conference and what it has to bring. And you're going to face a number of tough teams, but Louisiana has the talent to make a run and has the talent to be a surprising team this year. We mentioned Terrence Carter earlier, and the tight end could play a bigger role this year with a couple of big time players departing for the passing attack. 6'2", 232 pounds, so maybe not the biggest tight end, but he is definitely capable of making plays. Caught 28 passes last year, 255 yards, 3 touchdowns. I think he plays a more prominent role and helps that passing attack that finishes 76th in 2023. If the passing attack gets going, if Carter can find some chemistry, whether it's Wildridge or Fields, I really like what Louisiana can do this year.